Wow, Meliodas's character right now, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm just curious, how far is this evil nature gonna go with Meliodas? Because, okay, you can assume that he's going to handle the 10 commandments with utmost ruthlessness. He's not gonna give a shit, he's not gonna care, he's gonna just take them out like nothing. But I'm kind of curious if this is gonna resonate and transfer into who he is as a person. Because we know based on history that Meliodas was originally a pretty evil and shitty guy. He was one of the 10 commandments, he was an evil motherfucker, he was the leader of the 10 commandments, he was ruthless, and he turned around and became a decent person with his newfound power, with him training with his daddy and whatnot, and him becoming this evil as we see in the chapter, or at the very least in this chapter. It's safe to say that he's ruthless. I don't know if you'd say evil, but he's definitely ruthless and just like looking savage. Will that manifest into his everyday life and him just being a normal person? Only time will tell. So with this week's chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, aka the 7 Deadly Sins, one of the things to note is, for starters, we thought, okay, his power level about 60,000. He was 31,000 as the clone, and then another one, so he was about 60,000. But we didn't take into account the fact that he activated his demon powers as well, so that gives him a boost. Like, honestly, I could see by the end of this arc at the very least, his power is probably going to jump up to like 100,000 or something, because that was just like the mark showing up, and it probably jumped up quite a bit. Imagine when he goes full-blown psychopath. Like, you got to think too, if he's already acting like this, if he's already just like not giving a shit, killing, talking a bunch of crap, imagine if he full-blown lets loose. Like, yeah, I think the druids had it right with taking that power away. And then getting the flashback to the big betrayal of Meliodas in the past, where he betrayed all the 10 commandments for the one person that he loved. Now, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be 100%. I don't know if this was revealed in Sins or not, or if I'm just making this up in my head. So if this is a theory, then so be it, because we do know in the past, I believe this was prior to the whole fall of the 7 Deadly Sins, we do know that Meliodas pretty much was doing a lot of this shit for Liz. Like, you know, he basically was ride or die for Liz, and he was hurt by that. But it seems as though 3,000 years ago, when shit was going down against the 10 commandments or whatever, he did the same thing against them. He was trying to protect someone he loved. So I wouldn't be surprised. And again, I don't know if this was already revealed or if this is a theory. I just don't remember, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from the Goddess clan was the original Liz and Elizabeth, because we know Elizabeth is the reincarnation of Liz. So what if Liz was the reincarnation of this person that he was trying to protect 3,000 years ago? It could be that Meliodas has witnessed Liz and Elizabeth die over and over again throughout thousands of years, and maybe that's what happened back then in the fight against the 10 commandments. And again, I could be totally just misremembering, and I already seen this, and I'm not actually making a theory, but there you go. That's something that I wanted to put out there. Now, the stuff with Fraudulent in this chapter, for starters, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of got that semi-perfect Cell vibe when he was like, I'm gonna blow everything up, I'm taking all you motherfuckers with me. I was like, yo, semi-perfect Cell, I see you there, bro. But I think one of the things that this chapter cemented, granted, you can look back and think, yeah, the 10 commandments are one of the main reasons why Meliodas became the way he is, because he was pretty much living a normal, peaceful life until all this shit kicked off. And you can also say that Fraudulent was the catalyst for the revival of everything. Like him using Hendrickson and reviving them, and then everything that happened afterward is because of Fraudulent. However, in this chapter, you see that Fraudulent had grown so fond of Griamore that he was just like, fuck it, just kill me, alright, you know, don't worry, I'm not gonna kill your daddy, it's all good. So he had grown to be somewhat like a normal human. But in this chapter, it shows that Meliodas is almost more evil and more ruthless than one of the 10 commandments, one of the evil peoples, the villains and stuff like that. So I think that's a testament and a very high volume speaking of what Meliodas is now and who he's become. Because if the person that he's fighting has more feelings and cares more about the people around him than Meliodas does, then that's speaking about Meliodas' character and one of the struggles I'm imagining he's gonna have within himself. It's kind of like the classic shonen trope, except, you know, they're doing their own twist on it, where somebody has to battle with this inner demon inside of him. We've seen it before, you know, in Bleach with Ichigo in the Hollow, Naruto and Kurama. Obviously, it wasn't to that extent or whatever, but even Goku with Uzuru having to deal with that power that they just can't control, that evilness, that dark nature inside of them, and I think Meliodas is going through that right now. And it's a big testament as well, because you got to think, Fraudulent was getting ready to blow up pretty much the entire city right there. He was about to blow everyone the hell up, and Meliodas is like, bro, just do it. Hurry up and do it, where people are gonna get hurt. Fraudulent, for one little boy, he's like, yeah, alright, fuck it, you know what, I'm not gonna do it, just kill me or whatever. So again, that shows what Meliodas has become, and it's crazy because the villains are starting to seem more nicer than the main character. And the end of the chapter, to be honest with you, I felt as though it was very suitable. Fraudrin was never really, from what we've seen thus far, I mean, he was, what, the second weakest of the 10 commandments. He was never even a real 10 commandment as stated in the chapter. The Demon King himself never granted him the title of a 10 commandment. So the way he went out, it was interesting, and it kind of suited his character because I think he was the selfless. So in a sense, he wasn't selfish. He was thinking of others and stuff like that. But that was his curse or whatever. So it kind of suited him for him to go out that way. And I think there's going to be people that are going to be disappointed that, like, one of the 10 commandments going out like that, he gave up his life. But again, I think that's more so diving into Meliodas' character, because it's obvious that we're gonna probably have at least one more arc after the 10 commandments, and I think one of the problems Meliodas is gonna have is battling with himself. So yeah, I don't know, regarding score wise, it's really difficult because the end of the chapter could be conceived in two different ways. It could be perceived as, okay, Meliodas killing him like that, like, oh, it's lackluster, or you could look at it as, this is a huge building block for what's going to happen with Meliodas from here on out. Everybody's looking at him right now. If King sees this or hears about this, he's going to look at Meliodas as, I was right, you piece of shit, stay away from me and everybody I care about. So that's going to be a huge milestone for the manga. Like, if I was to give this chapter a score, to be honest with you, I'm thinking in the 8 to 8.5. It didn't go out as an epic. It wasn't just like, you know, this final battle or whatever, and I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of what Fraudrin did back in the day, but nonetheless, I still think it was a very good chapter. Not exactly what we were expecting, but it showcased some of the character and the depth of not only, you know, our characters, the main characters, but also the 10 commandments. Fraudrin, at the end of the day, he grew to be like the thing that he hated the most: humans. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Biggest question though, how did you feel about the ending with Meliodas versus Fraudrin? Were you disappointed? Did you like it? Also, do you think that now Meliodas is going to have inner turmoil within himself for what he's becoming? And your overall thoughts on how everything's turning out? We still got quite a few commandments left, and to be honest with you, the two that supposedly died, I don't think they're completely out yet. Like, take it in the ass, that bitch, like, don't have her dead. And your overall thoughts. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.